What's going on, people? Kai here. How you guys doing? Today we're gonna take a look at Nini. We have done a lot of Rorys. I think you guys are already tired of Rory. So today we're going to do like the we're gonna do Nini today. What we're gonna do today is the Nini's. Basically, him saying that he's not gonna monetize the video. He's just gonna speak from the heart about how he feels about like everything that's going on with Chelsea lately. So we're gonna digest it and see what's going on with him and what he's saying is true relatively to whatever the fuck he's talking about. I don't really believe him, but it is what it is. Tell me, you guys, if you can hear me, because I don't know if I'm alone here or not. Can you just write in the comment or the chat if you're here? You can hear me, fine. Can you guys hear me? Something is going on with the chat for anyway. Something's going on with the chat here with StreamYard. Anyway, let's get started, yeah, because we're wasting valuable time.
Welcome back, you guys. From the start, I do want to say that I am not going to be monetizing this video. Instead, I'd like to use this video as an opportunity for me to explain myself, as an opportunity for me to hold my hands up and take the L's and criticism that I have been.
Basically, our boy Nini is saying, shit, I'm getting a lot of hate. What should I do? This is what my publisher said I should do. I should apologize and try to make it as nice PR as possible by holding my hands up, which I don't buy into it, but whatever, man. Hey, Drogba 2012, how are you doing, bro? Jose, CFC, how are you guys doing? Croissant, inshallah, Lampard out. I feel you, bro. Nice name.
Receiving. It has been constructive. I have taken it on board, and I'm always going to do that because when I got into YouTube, my goal is to be a great football content creator. And of course, the stuff I read from you guys is only going to help me get to that goal straight from the bat.
Yeah, basically just same PR, basically saying, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I sold out, and now I made this video. I made this video to make it seem like I care about you, and I'm going to talk to you from the heart because my numbers are going down and I'm not making as much money." But that could be just me, man. That's just my opinion.
I want to apologize for my poor communication style. At times I feel like, yes, I do waffle. I've been looking back at videos and
People, apparently Nini waffles, man. I have never. Did you guys ever notice? I've never noticed. Nini, man, good on you, bro.
streams I've been on, and I can see exactly what you guys are talking about. The last thing you guys want to do when you've got your own lives, when you have the decency and the niceness to even click on the video in the first place, is to have to waste your time deciphering point after point after point when everyone has their own life, has their own stresses. I mean, COVID is affecting all of us. And, when it comes to your content, you want to escape a little bit. And the best way to escape is by watching content from the club you love. Now, I'm not going to address every Lampard.
How much do you guys want to bet that somebody wrote that whole thing, the whole speech for him, and he's reading from a paper? But it's good editing on in his part, bro. Yeah, Winter Surfer, bro. I know he's doing it only to get like kind of like, oh no, my analytics, I'm not getting the best. I'm not getting the best type of like payments that I should be getting. I'm sorry. Here, I'll make a video to make it, and I'm not gonna monetize it. But yet, I am going to keep all the affiliate links in the description, just in case. Just in case.
Mistake and criticism in this video, but this will be something I will get down to because for me, I just want to have a balanced channel with balanced takes. And I think the one biggest criticism is Lampard's youthful inexperience. And this makes a lot of sense. He's only been a manager for 2.5 years. And I think the one thing that I've noticed, which is like the repeated pattern behind, some of the defeats and, some of the mistakes, is that I feel that Lampard's can be overzealous. There were 3 games in particular that screamed this to me more than any others. Those 3 games were that 4-0 defeat to Manchester United at the start of his reign, the defeat to Sheffield United in the second part of last season, and our recent defeat against Man City. With Manchester United,
Yeah, I like how he casually just skips the Arsenal game where we got molested by kids, man. I like it just like casually, just like walks on by, like not mentioning that defeat at all, mentioning Sheffield, mentioning the 4-0 defeat to United, like just yeah, the Arsenal thing didn't happen, man. That's not the one. That's not the one I'm mad at. Kai, the day after he was arrogant on Twitter and started beef with Matisse for not agreeing with him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, that's all it is. Bro, it's the same thing in all businesses. When you see this type of videos, it's just it's not honest. It's not a sincere apology, man. As somebody who works in marketing, I know this crap. He's just there to basically save whatever he gets. Like he's trying to save his face from the media, from the fans. I don't buy this. I don't think it's genuine at all, man. But
it was quite obvious that the tactics weren't strong enough because the players' understanding wasn't there. It was why we were rightfully picked off on the counter attack against Manchester United. And for me, if the manager felt like the team wasn't ready just yet, you had to adapt because, of course, there is a priority to always do your best to get the 3 points for the fans. Moving on to the Sheffield United game now, it was kind of like the same thing. I felt like Lampard literally got the entire tactics wrong, which is like one of the first times I've really, really seen that. And again, we were rightfully beaten by Sheffield United, who just destroyed us in the flanks. And for the third and recent game against Man City, for me, it's the previous signs that I've been talking about already. This was not the game to use Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech up front, especially when if you're trying to coach this certain style of football that does need time, you got to pick and choose your battles. A few months back, we saw Christian Pulisic absolutely destroy Man City, winning the game for us. We played with lesser players on the same level as the players we signed this summer. So, knowing that this team needs time this season to gel and work together, that was not the opportunity to play attacking football against Man City because the players were exposed and the players, of course, looked very confused. Now, that's the one major critique that I have with Lampard that I feel a lot of you guys have too. But for the other ones, I will talk about them in future videos, but I'm not trying to ramble.
okay, so I'm just gonna leave it short to what I think about like the latest part he was talking about. I mean, we had more games. I felt like the Arsenal game was like the worst defeat for us because we played against an Arsenal team that haven't really won anything. They were struggling to pick up points. Oof, man. They were horrible, and they played us with a C team, and they still destroyed us. And the fact that he's if you guys, I don't know if you guys watched it, the darkest meme, the darkest time, whatever, debate with him where she basically called him out for all of those things and he denied them, and all of a sudden now he changed faith and he's trying to act like, hey, look, man, I made a mistake. Yeah, those games, it's like bro. Whenever somebody called you out for those same things, whenever you were debating with them, you denied them, and now all of a sudden, because everybody saw the thing what you had with Matisse and all that stuff, all of a sudden, you learn your mistakes and you developed as a person, and you're willing to listen to people critique rather than just shrug it off and tell them they're getting stuff out of their ass. Bro, Nini lost respect for me that day, bro.
Because I need to get better at how I communicate. From this point on, I would like to speak a little bit about.
Do you guys see how edited this video is? It's like just a scene after a scene after a scene. It's like he's trying to do like very good by himself. Hi Chris, bro. How are you, bro? Good to see you, man, again.
How I feel that I've been misunderstood and how it's been from no one's fault other than my own. For me, I've always been a slave to, talking about football in a balanced way. And I haven't been doing myself justice. When someone has met me with, a strong criticism of Lampard, I have not been acknowledging that and adding that to my own.
Exactly, Nini. You came back responding with your emotions, your tears, and your estrogen, rather than coming back with actual objective points to counterattack that. And the other things that you did, you just cussed them off like a child. But whatever. We move.
Own opinion to form a balanced take. And that's why it comes across like I'm a Lampard fanboy, because anytime I speak about the team, I'm only speaking about things from one way instead of talking about things from both sides, like I keep telling myself I do. So, you know what I mean? Hands up in the air. I take the L, you guys. But I would also like to use this as an opportunity to state that I don't do this because of a love affair for Lampard's.
He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I made a mistake. But
I do like him. I respect him. But he's not even my favorite player.
here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We went back to the he's not even my favorite player. I'm not in love with him. You guys are wrong. He's not even my favorite player, which is one of the dumbest things. I admitted that Lampard is my favorite player growing up, right? But at the same time, I cannot say he's doing everything right. Fuck off if you disagree with me. You're a dickhead. Blah blah blah. The same thing that Nini does, which is to me, you clearly are not separating the manager from the legend, which you should, because he's no longer a player, right? Like, he's a manager. He's not doing the same thing. He's managing players. So it's just, for me, it's just ridiculous, man. But Nini, if you're watching this, I'm loving the edit, man. I'm loving the edit, bro. Your editing skills compared to when you started, bellissimo.
Drogba, Essien, players like that. And to be honest, I could even do a completely separate video talking about why I felt Michael Ballack was a better player individually compared to Lampard, which is just its own thing entirely. But I wanted to explain that my thoughts and opinions don't come from this deep sentimentality that, to be honest, I'm constantly challenging myself on every single time. I would like to use this opportunity to explain to you guys the three big cracks that I saw in football that really changed my entire perspective on the game and what really forced me to have to adapt and, keep an open perspective at all times to really understand the game.
People in the chat, do you think this apology thing is not an actual apology, but he actually came in to be like, hey, yeah, I'm sorry, but you guys are wrong. This is how I view football, and you should view it like I do. You know what I mean? Do you think that's what he's trying to do? Because to me, that's the whole purpose of this video, man. It's not an actual apology. It's like, hey, man, I'm sorry you don't like me, but if you start seeing things from my point of view, then you're right. My people, just write down in the chat, what do you think? Do you think it's an honest, genuine apology, or do you think like I do, he's just trying to show us where he's coming from, rather than apologize for his behavior towards people?
When I came onto YouTube, I've always been about progressive football conversations. At times I feel like things have become all about tribalism and us versus them every single time. And I just think that with how beautiful football is, with how much depth there is, from the amount of players that are at our disposal for us fans to watch, the amount of different ways teams can play, to the coaching setups, etc., etc. I mean, it's a vast game, and it's why I'm completely obsessed with football. For me, my goal has always been about having a balanced take that incorporates both sides, analyze the pros and cons, and then come to the conclusion. And you know what? It's actually funny because this lockdown, as I'm sure it has been for a lot of you guys too, it's been a great moment of like reflection and a great moment for us to even understand ourselves even more. And one revelation I personally came to this lockdown period.
Bro, all this reflection talk, man. You know, he sounds like my ex-girlfriend, man. He's just talking all that fucking pretty little thing, putting it in a bow, and at the end of the day, he's just going back and forth to the same thing. You guys aren't seeing things my way. You guys are wrong. I am right, but this is why. Which to me, it's ridiculous that he's doing it, especially with the fact that he's basically just repeating the same point and just wrapping it in a nicer wrapping, man. Which is, oof, man.
It's all of last year was actually finding out what my personality type was. And I found out that I'm an IFNJ. In the description below, I've got my personality report there in case.
There you go, people. There you go. There you go. Now we know why he made this video. He got, could be, I'm not, again, Nini, if you watch this, allegedly, since you have to say allegedly every time you do fucking video nowadays on YouTube. But the reason this is happening, right? He wants us to click on this button so we can get our nice little girly personality report. I'm a Scorpion, by the way.
Any of you guys want to read, just to, for yourself, if you want to get an idea about how I come to conclusions, how I think about things, and like where it comes from. Long story short, you guys, to be honest, it's impossible for me to see anything or think about anything without analyzing. It's like I'm a slave to analyzing every single aspect and thing in my life and everything I consume. Because for me, I learn by understanding how others feel. And then once I do, then I can understand where they come from. But anyway, before I start rambling on, let me explain the 3 cracks that really changed my perspective on this game forever. Now, one of the first major cracks came in 2009. It came in the Champions League second leg game against Barcelona. We all know that game. We know what went down. And for me, it's one of those games where I don't think I will ever be able to forget about what I saw that night. It was the reaction after that game that really highlighted to me that, wow, there is so much bias and tribalism that absolutely dominates football.
Man wants to talk about bias and tribalism. He called Kovacic COVID-17, so Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Mason Mount can play. But he wants to talk to me about tribalism. There you go, my man.
Conversation. We know that game where we got robbed by Overborough, and to this day, I still feel like UEFA had something to do with that because nothing adds up or makes sense. And after that game, I will never forget the reaction I saw.
Only one. He said that, but to me, it's a nice little packaging of PR, to show. Oh, even my girl sees that my personality is not right, but I'll change. I don't believe it, man. It's PR.
Because we were painted as the villains. It was our fault for not winning the game because we never took our chances, irrespective of the fact that our chances were denied because Barcelona kept fouling us inside the box. They were penalties we should have gotten that would have changed the course of how that game went down. But it wasn't even that. What really made me angry was the media reaction. And you guys, this happened 12 years ago. I'm still annoyed just even speaking about things. And I was seeing how nasty the English media was in depicting that game. I remember Sky Sports. We all remember Drogba saying after that game, it's a fucking disgrace. But what Sky Sports did at the time was they showed that live, an ad break came, and right after the ad break, they played that same clip again of Drogba swearing. Now, no one can tell me that was done by accident. They very well knew what they're doing because we can never forget at the end of the day with a lot of these media companies and sports writers that it comes from a place of making profit and profiting off reaction. That's how this game has always worked. The media tried to depict Drogba like he was Joey Barton. This was all back in the day, you guys. And for me, it completely changed how I saw how media will create fake narratives to make profit. Now, the second crack came from Jose Mourinho in his second spell. Now, I'll tell you guys very quickly, when I was young,
You know what? One thing that really does um, trigger me about Nini, Goldberg, all those personas. It's the fact. You remember when we signed Pulisic, all of these guys were, oh yeah, no, Pulisic will come in, so he will block Adoy. Adoy is not already isn't playing. We should just we shouldn't sign Pulisic because Adoy is playing. Sari should leave because he doesn't play Adoy. And now when Lampard doesn't play Adoy and he plays Pulisic, all of a sudden they did a whole little PR U-turn, acting like, oh yeah, I understand why he doesn't play Adoy. Adoy is this, Adoy is that. How much BS can a fucking person have when it comes to football perspective, man? How much bias can you have for your own players and then just trying to sweeten it, put like sugarcoat it, and act like you're one of those? Oh yeah, I'm an objective fan. Nini, bro, with all due respect to you, you and I used to speak on Twitter. Everything is fine, but you are the least objective person on Chelsea YouTube, man. Okay, maybe you're tied with Goldberg, with Alex Goldberg, but don't talk to me about objectivity when basically you didn't want Pulisic to sign because you thought he's going to replace Adoy, and then as soon as Adoy doesn't even play under Lampard, all of a sudden you understand it.
I'm telling you, I saw the game completely different. I was all about aesthetics and vibes. Any player that looked sick on YouTube, I wanted in the team. And Jose Mourinho at the time was a god to me. Everything he said made sense. I would argue and defend him left, right, and center until his second spell at the club. Now, what I judged Mourinho by was his unfair treatment of Juan Mata. For me, Juan Mata will have a special place in my heart forever.
The thing is, I liked Juan Mata as well, but didn't we? Before Mourinho came in, we haven't won the title since 2008, 2009, right? Mourinho came in, he got rid of an Asian Czech, he brought back Courtois, he got Fabregas, he got Diego Costa, he got Felipe Luis. He built us a team that came back, won the Premier League from being first of the beginning of August till August of the year after. And then that same team that he built won it again under Antonio Conte. So I understand when people get mad that we sold Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, who else? Mo Salah, Mata, but at the same time we needed to sell those players to achieve that revolution of the team that we did. If we haven't sold Juan Mata and if we haven't brought in Jose Mourinho, we haven't have won those 2 Premier Leagues in the last 5 years. People need to think you cannot just have everything. Things have to change in order for things to happen in a different way. Yeah, Juan. Yeah, Hassan, I agree with you. Juan Mata was amazing for us, but he didn't fit the system that we needed, that Mourinho tried to build. And then when we had that next level, we won so many things. We won 2 Premier Leagues because of Mourinho and the team that Mourinho built. If you know what I mean, he brought back Matic, he brought Fabregas. We built a team, man. He built us a team. And before he came in, we didn't win anything. The last thing we won was the Champions League, and after that Champions League, we didn't even come close to winning the Premier League. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with that only one. But at the same time, we also had we also won the league doing it. That's his style. So you have to be appreciative because at the end of the day, nobody remembers teams, but everybody remembers the trophies that you win. That's your history. That builds your history.
He will always be remembered to me as the player that made that corner for Drogba to get that equalizer against Bayern. I was at that game. I had given up. If everything was hopeless and Mata came through, taking that set piece over Frank Lampard, because at that time, Mata was just better at taking them. No other player would have been able to meet that. In came Drogba, connects, and history was made. In the season after that, when we invested in Hazard, Oscar, we had an incredible attacking lineup. I mean, the stats from those three in Mata, Hazard, and Oscar, they all got double digits with goals and assists. And this is a 21-year-old Hazard, a 19, 20-year-old Oscar, and a very young Juan Mata that absolutely had one of the most low-key, greatest individual seasons this decade for a player. Chelsea fans at the time saw him as the new Zola. So for Mourinho to come in and completely ostracize him from the team, completely converting Oscar.
Comment down below, but doesn't it like in the chat? Sorry, I'm a bit confused. Doesn't Mourinho does it with every team he goes to? It's the same thing with Pep, right? Every team they go to, they take one of the key players and exercise him completely and replace him with someone else. It's just I just thought of that. Like every time when he came for us the first time, it was Mata, right? Like the second time it was Mata. Then when Pep came to City, it was Hart, right? At Barcelona, it was Yaya Toure. This guy, every time he comes to the team, they just change it. I just thought of that. Interesting.
Into a defensive player that never in any single season came close reaching the same stats he got in his first season for us. For me, this was unforgivable.
Slans, exactly, man. But my heart is only for pumping blood, man. I don't think with my heart. It's only for pumping blood.
Giveable, and you know, it was a sign of things to come because I felt this sense of dread, and we saw it. We saw Mourinho completely ostracize De Bruyne, Salah, Lukaku, three world-class players
Good
that
point.
we
Good point,
bought
KJ.
for absolutely nothing that should still be playing for us. We saw Mourinho not even get the best out of Eden Hazard, you know, never giving this guy a proper fullback to play with. And at the time, I remember the fan base being like, yo, Mourinho's here. Hazard's going to be more complete because now he can track back and help out. I think we saw what happened versus Atletico Madrid in the second leg, and I was at that game. It's been the only time in my entire life that I wanted to leave before the whistle blew because the game was over and effectively there was nothing to see. Mourinho showed me the power of having a long-term plan and why sometimes having short-term managers that don't fit long-term plans means.
Okay, I'm sorry I keep pausing, but this what he the reason. Okay, I get the short term. Now he's just basically the only reason he's saying all of this. The only reason he's saying all of this crap, right? He wants us to put us back on the same. He's like, hey people, come down to my level, come up to my level. I am going to show you why I want Lampard to stay, why I think Lampard is a good idea. You guys are wrong, but I'm gonna put it in a nice PR wrap so it looks like I give a shit about your opinion and I'm taking it into consideration. But it's the same thing. Using a Mourinho as a long term, right, and using Lampard is a long term. It's fucking bonkers. How can you fucking do that, bro? Because at the end of the day, Mourinho has things that he won. So you could give him plans. You can give him resources and be like, hey man, if you had a boat builder, right, and you knew that guy built boats before, you would give him all the things to build those boats. But Lampard never built a fucking boat. How is he gonna build a boat, man? The only boat he built was that Derby team that finished sixth, couldn't even get promoted, and that other Chelsea that basically got fourth. Yeah, of course, nobody expected us to get fourth, but I've never expected the Chelsea to lose 12 games. And this season, I don't know what people could use as an excuse, but we are failing, man. We are ninth, so I cannot just sit here and be like, "Hey, man, we have a long-term plan. It doesn't matter short term. It's all about the long term." Well, Nini, I'm gonna tell you, as somebody who works in a corporate environment, long-term projects have short-term achievements and goals as well. In order for you to achieve those long-term success, you have to achieve those short-term success. You don't become a billionaire from day one to day two. You have to have success in the meanwhile, achieving small achievements and then go into that big achievement or big goal. You can't just start from point A and get all the way to point Z. That's not how the fucking world works.
Means that everyone in the end definitely loses out. And for the third crack that changed my perspective, this was on Maurizio Sarri. Now, I know a lot of you guys will remember that I absolutely love Sarri, and
you and I do. You and I both, Nini. But This is what it is, man. The guy went to Juventus, won Serie A, and forgot we ever existed.
To be honest, I still have a place for him in my
Crying,
heart.
man.
I mean, seeing this guy's story, how can he not be inspired? From the age of like, what, 31, 32, 33, he quit working in finance to do this football thing. And, you know, it's taken him 30 years to get to the very, very top. I admire that dedication in anyone doing absolutely anything. Reading about Sarri's history, I mean, it made me fall in love even more. Seeing his rise, seeing how he prioritized using younger players to help him, you know, achieve his goals.
What is it? What is it with these Goldbergs and Nini and who else? And what is it with all these people and young players, man? Somebody need to search your computers, people. Like, I don't hear Barcelona fans saying like, "Oh, look at all these young players." It's a bit creepy. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's scaring me a little bit.
And get to the places he wanted to get to. So when he signed for us and he didn't bring what he has always advertised himself to do, you know, this was a massive revelation for me that made me have to really change how I see the game. And you know, looking back in hindsight, I completely get it now. Sarri dedicated his life to this game for 30 years to get to this level. He's an old man. He won't be here for long. And for all the work he's put in, he wants to end his career with some silverware, which I understand. And good for him. He won the Europa League with us and he won a Scudetto back in Italy. Sarri achieved his life ambitions. However, his pursuit of those short-term gains did not come in favor of the club's long-term mentality planning at the time. And for me, it came down to the transfer decisions. The fact that we came extremely close to signing Husai from Napoli for between 40 to 50 million would have effectively meant that Reece James would never be in this team. And that makes no sense to me because when you look at Husai, he effectively now is a squad member at Napoli.
One thing that I gave Lampard, that I actually do, I am very appreciative of what he did, is Reece James. Anybody of you who have been watching my material before knows how much I like Reece James, how much I rate Reece James, and how much I think he's arguably our best right fullback going forward. I think he's better than Chilwell in my opinion as well. He has the strength, the speed, and unlike what's his name, Alexander Arnold, he doesn't hit on pregnant women. To me, it's all pluses, man. It's all positives. But Sarri didn't even know this guy existed, and so arguably you cannot say that, oh yeah, Sarri didn't use Reece James. Sarri didn't know Reece James was that good. Reece James became to be like noticed when he was at Wigan. Before that, nobody. So saying that is just you basically using an invalid argument to put down a manager who didn't know anything, man. It's, to me, I just don't get it, man.
He never really pushed on or became much better than what was originally promised back in those days. When Sarri knew that we were going to have a transfer ban, in his head, it was his time to leave and cut. In the end, a lot of short-term disasters. He was the guy that kickstarted Kante's injury concerns by rushing him back every single time. And he had
Did this grown-ass man say that Sarri is the reason Kante has injuries? Did this grown-ass man said Sarri is the reason Kante has injuries? I am pretty sure that Lampard did the exact same thing when Kante came back from injury. He pushed him with injuries. Same thing with Chilwell. And the reason we lost that Arsenal game, you guys can debate it in the chat, is because we pushed Reece James and Chilwell too fast back from injury. Literally, Lampard is the king of bringing players back from injury. Using it as like a stone to throw on Sarri and his reign is stupid. Yeah, I understand Sarri had his negatives, but he also has positive. But you cannot blame injuries on a manager. That's fucking ridiculous, man. That's fucking ridiculous. Especially since Kante was the only DM we actually had.
absolutely zero faith in the academy for the next season because he's never once acknowledged him. So for me, even though I still like him, I can separate Sarri from the needs of what our club needs. Since then, it feels like every season I'm gaining more insight behind how football works, behind how coaching works, behind tactics. That's always been something I was never amazing at. But, recently, due to the fact that we're now trying to get philosophy managers, it's just brought in some new insights for me, some new observations, some new thoughts. And to be honest, it kind of encourages me to want to research this stuff even more, to find some evidence to back my claims that I mentioned. I'm kind of like dedicated to
100%, Marshall.
trying to
100%.
pick the most realistic depictions on scenarios that happen at this club. The amount of times I surprise myself by just researching some base opinions, and I'm not coming from a place of like a higher level. A lot of the stuff that I think of is literally the same.
Bro, how can you say you're not coming from a higher level? But every fucking time, sorry for me cousin people, somebody comes to you and try to give you a different perspective, you just shut them down and saying, oh yeah, you're just pulling stuff from your ass. When in reality, those people are pulling stats, and you're the one who's pulling stuff out of your ass. You're pulling emotion. Again, the estrogen comes into effect.
Same stuff that people just type on Twitter. But my thing is that, okay, let me see if there's anything to this. Let me put some research into it. Since then, seeing Sarri struggle, seeing Lampard, I feel like I'm understanding the difficulties behind why a long-term approach is so hard. And now I understand why the club for so many years just did not care about that, because there was no time to wait. It really
Well, the club. Sorry, people. Yeah, the way the club was doing it, it's the club was trying to get as much exposure as possible. And how do you get exposure? By winning trophies. Nobody is going to look into a team that won one Premier League, two Premier Leagues as the pedestal of football. So the club needed to get those trophies in order to elevate us to the next level. So players can start looking at us. It's like, hey man, look, this team has won four Premier Leagues in the last 10 years. That's a project that I should go back to. That's a project that fits my individual goals. The clubs can't just be building something. We cannot just. People don't understand. We don't have the structure that Liverpool had, where they were relevant 30 years ago. Chelsea before Roman basically won one league title, and Roman just came in and tried to revolutionize it. So we needed to win as much trophies as we can in that period in order for us to elevate our game and elevate our status in the football market, which we did. So this short and steady develop youth stuff wasn't an option to us because we wanted to develop the football club to the level that it is now.
feels like the only reason now why the club is doing a completely different approach from the short-term approach that brought us so much success is because right now we've got FFP. Those seasons when we weren't winning things with our short-term mentality cost the club a lot of money. Money on poor transfers, money on extremely high wages, money on sacking coaches, money on agents. And these were the reasons why when Mourinho and Conte won things, there was no money the following season to invest when you had to take their ideas to the next level. Drastic change.
Poor Conte got fucking Zappa Costa. He got drink water, and you want to talk to him about he is the reason we ran out of money, man. This kills me, man.
Was needed, and the only man to put his hand up to take this role was Frank Lampard. But for me, at this point in time, no one can say that
They gave Lampard Zappa Costas, and this man is blaming him for spending our monies, man. I am dead, bro.
Lampard is destined to be a guaranteed top success. At the same time, no one can also say that Lampard is destined to be a huge flop. And I think
exactly, we're just making guesses. We're just making guesses, and making guesses is never good in life. It's like, is this tiger gonna kill me, or is it gonna be a friendly tiger? That's a very, very good way to look at things, Nini. That's what I used to look at things when I was 11, man. Should I eat that cookie? Nah.
That's where my headspace is currently at. You know, what does the future holds? You know, what information can I find? What type of evidence can I find from my history that can paint a picture of what the future can bring? You know, how can I build this picture with my knowledge on how coaching is, on how tactics work, and how development is? I'm not saying I'm perfect, but
That's an understatement, man. Saying I'm not saying I'm perfect. That's an
every
understatement.
season, my goal is to improve my understanding so I can make the best content for you guys. And that's something that I haven't been doing at this point in time. And that's something I'm fixing in 2021. Right now, I've got a new computer coming on the way. I've been struggling behind the scenes, you guys.
Oh, and now he's gonna tell us, because you guys are filling in those those horoscope promos. Nini is gonna get a new computer, man.
My computer is old. It means that when I edit, my editing software crashes.
And now he's doing the basic, getting down to down, like down low with the commoners, telling you what he's going to do, trying to come like on a low kind of conversation, like personal conversation, after he gave us on the reasons why he was basically acting like a dickhead, claiming that, oh yeah, I'm getting a new computer, to keep coming giving you that content because I love you guys and you are everything to me, man. Allegedly.
Is non-stop. Yesterday, making the thumbnail for that news video took me 1.5 hours to make. Not because I had to, think of how to construct it, but because using Photoshop was just so slow that literally it's me force myself every time to get something out, and it takes a toll after a while. So I feel like things will get back to course soon. I feel like the future of this channel is only going to improve. I feel like things are going to get better for this club as well. And you guys, this was just me.
I like how everything he says, I feel like, I feel like, I feel like. Jesus Christ, man. Thank fuck, Nini, you don't work in a corporate environment, man. All that feeling is gonna get you sacked.
Speaking on the real to you guys, because end of the day, you've been with me for a few years now. You've seen me, my ups, my downs, and I feel like as a YouTuber, the difference between us and traditional media is that we can speak to our audience in a way that media
Yeah, yeah. Media don't go around cussing their audience, man. Call them stupid.
will never ever do, because at the end of the day, they're solely in it to make money. And I guess all I can say to end this is let's hope that as YouTubers, because we're fans, we know the club. Let's hope we don't fall in those same traps that the media.
We are fans. We know the club. Basically, we are fans that get paid from the club. So trust me on this. Hey, trust me. You trust me? Yeah.
Have always done to us. So you guys, on that note, thank you for watching. There's going to be some more videos coming out today. I'm Niinii FC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.
No, goddamn. That was like kind of like tough to swallow, like because in my opinion it was a lot of it was just there to fix his PR. I think he had like a lot of negative PR lately with the stuff that he says, the way he carried himself in the debate with these other YouTubers. He was just being like a kid, and the last point is the one that killed me. He's like, we are YouTubers, we are fans, we are content creators, we're not like the media. I've never seen I've never seen a media output call their fans and like stupid for not believing them, pulling stuff from their asses for having their own opinions. But hey, Nini, that's you, bro. That's you. That's you. I hate it when YouTubers bring up money. I don't give a fuck about the money they make. Yeah, telling me he's gonna buy a new computer, with all that fucking, and then no, the one that make me really laugh is the personality thing that he tried to play out and attach a link to it. It's not demonetized. It's not monetized. Like, I'm not gonna make any ad revenue from it, but there is something down there you can use. Click, click. You know what I mean? He loves Lampard and Mount. Yeah, he loves everything that comes from the academy. Nini is cringe. Not gonna disagree. I told you it was a bit cringy. You did, Marshall. Yeah, it's like yeah. One of the worst videos I've seen besides Rory. I swear, man. I want to know what these people have for breakfast, man. I want to know what these people have for breakfast. You know what I mean? But yeah, one of my biggest issues with Nini, like Nini, when he first started, he used to be like very, like his videos were very cool. Now, when a lot of people who talk to him, who knows him a bit, they say that he's very, like, he thinks he knows everything, and if you don't agree with him, you can basically F off. You can basically F off. That's what it is, and that's what kind of irritates me. Because yeah, everybody knows like I'm Lampard out, but I'm willing to listen to the other side. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't call you stupid for believing in Lampard, because that's your choice. That's what you like. You know. Yeah, I've heard he has a Chelsea affiliate link. I actually used it to buy my Kovacic kit. You know. Thank you for the 15%, Nini. Rudiger, Tammy, and Kai for Havertz. That's actually a good. No, we got good. We got a good deal from it. We got a good deal from it. Anyway, people, make sure you subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. I'm sorry I was keep pushing it back. I had some personal stuff happening in life, you know. Um, as some of you know, and some of you don't, I had one of my best friends passed away last week, so I had to push some stuff a little bit later. Yesterday I wanted to make the show, but I wasn't 100%, so I wanted to be 100% so I can bring you, you know, my usual unfiltered content without all that, you know, emotional involvement in it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll have like a Chelsea weekly show coming back this weekend after the Chelsea game. We will talk everything from Lampard to the Fulham game, and we'll do a preview for the Leicester game as well. Yeah, man. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And if I think I have already wished you guys a happy new year. I know it sucks to go back to work and whatever, but you know what it is. That's life. You gotta make that money. You gotta make that money. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you guys again for supporting the channel. Thank you guys very very much for supporting me and subscribing and liking the videos and joining me into this YouTube journey that I am trying my best to keep going, even though it's not I don't have as much time as others would, you know. But thank you guys so much, and I wish you a great rest of the day and rest of the week. Take care. Bye, people.